Before the name of Rome faded, before gunpowder lit the skies of Europe, there rode a man from the wind-swept steppes. A man with no crown, no wealth, no divine right, only a vision, and an iron will. This is March Through History. He was born as Temujin in the year 1162, clutching a blood clot in his fist. A Mongol omen that he was destined to become a great leader. But destiny would not come easily. His early life was no legend. It was a constant struggle. When his father, the chieftain Yesugei, was poisoned by rivals, Temujin was only 9. With no protection, his tribe abandoned his family. His mother, Hoylan, kept her children alive by foraging and hunting. Barely. The young Temujin wasn't raised in palaces or tents of silk. He grew up in poverty, fear, and blood. He learned early that loyalty was rare, and survival often meant violence. When his half-brother hoarded food, Temujin killed him. A brutal act, but one that marked the emergence of a boy who would tolerate no betrayal. As he grew, Temujin learned to wield more than just weapons. He forged bonds, not through heritage, but through trust and mutual respect. One of his earliest and most loyal allies was Bo-Orchu, a herdsman who stood by him through battles and betrayals. Another was Jelma, who once sucked clotted blood from Temujin's neck to keep him alive after an injury. He wasn't just building a following, he was building a brotherhood. But power on the steppe was fragile. Temujin was captured by a rival tribe, shackled and humiliated. Yet he escaped and returned stronger. At age 20, he gathered allies among smaller tribes, and at the Great Kurultai, he was proclaimed Genghis Khan, universal ruler of the Mongols. His rise was not just through brute force. It was calculated genius. He destroyed the old clan system that had kept Mongols divided for generations. No longer would bloodlines rule. Under Genghis, loyalty to the Khan mattered more than family or nobility. He divided his warriors into units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000, decentralized, mobile, and loyal. His generals, men like Subutai and Jebe, were chosen for their brilliance, not their birth. Even deserters from enemy tribes were welcomed if they swore loyalty. And if they didn't, their cities were reduced to ashes and silence. Then the world learned his name. The Xixia and Jin dynasties in northern China fell like wheat before his scythe. But it was the Khwarezmian Empire that sparked the greatest fury. After the Shah insulted and murdered Mongol envoys, an unforgivable crime in steppe tradition, Genghis unleashed hell. He didn't just conquer cities. He eradicated them. In Nishapur, following the death of his son-in-law, Mongol forces reportedly killed every soul, leaving behind mountains of skulls. Yet cities that surrendered without resistance were often spared, incorporated into the empire. To Genghis, terror was a weapon, a message written in fire and blood. But if you think he was just a destroyer, you'd be mistaken. Genghis Khan, the ruler, was just as formidable as Genghis Khan, the general. He crafted a new legal code, the Yasa, that governed everything from theft to military conduct. He banned the kidnapping of women, prohibited noble privilege, and imposed harsh penalties for corruption and treason. He created a postal relay network across tens of thousands of kilometers, the YAM system, a forerunner of modern logistics. He imposed universal census-taking, standardized taxation, and built a multi-ethnic bureaucracy. Under him, Muslims calculated taxes, Chinese scholars ran cities, and Uyghur scribes developed a writing system for Mongolian. Where other empires crushed diversity, Genghis harnessed it. And in a time when rulers slaughtered heretics, he declared religious freedom. Whether you worshipped the sky, the cross, or the crescent, you were protected under Mongol law. He had vision far beyond the battlefield. He sent emissaries to the Pope, to the Caliph, to the Chinese Emperor. He studied the laws and customs of the people he conquered, not just to rule them, but to understand them. Still, he was no saint. Genghis Khan's campaigns resulted in the deaths of millions. His war with the Khwarezmians alone may have killed 10% of the world's population at the time. Entire cities vanished. Rivers ran red. And yet his empire enabled the rise of trade routes like the Silk Road, allowing knowledge, goods, and cultures to flow from China to Europe. He made the world smaller by making it submit. When he died in 1227, the location of his grave was kept secret. Legends say the funeral escort killed everyone they encountered, that the river was diverted to hide his tomb. His body vanished into myth, but his empire did not. It would grow under his sons and grandsons into the largest contiguous empire in history, stretching from the Sea of Japan to the heart of Europe. Genghis Khan began life with nothing, no name, no clan, no land, and yet by the time he died, the world trembled at his name. Some call him a savage, others a genius. He was both and more. But who were the men who made his vision real? The warriors who rode for him, through fire, famine, and death. Men who could shoot an arrow through the eye of a bird while galloping at full speed. Who could survive for days drinking the blood of their own horses. Who fought with discipline, speed, and terror unlike anything the world had ever seen. They were not just soldiers. They were a storm on horseback. They were the Mongol Warriors. Join us next time as we ride with the horsemen of the apocalypse and uncover the untold secrets of the Mongol war machine. This is March Through History. Subscribe for more stories of warriors, weapons, and the world they fought in.